If your first instinct is to fix something instead of replacing it, if you remember when MTV actually played music, if you can parallel park without a camera, if you used to wait for a phone call instead of seeing seen on a screen, then listen, your brain might be wired differently. And here's one more sign. You still remember at least a few phone numbers by heart. You used to walk up to a friend's house and knock. No texting first. You're not weird. You just grew up in a different era. People call it nostalgia. But it's not just a feeling. It was a kind of training, especially if you grew up before the internet, before Google answered every question, before social media held every emotion, before endless content saved you from boredom. You rewound cassette tapes with a pencil. You waited for your TV show at the exact time, or you missed it. You had space, you had time, you had limits, and those limits built skills, not better, not worse, just rarer, every year. Today, I'm breaking down 7 rare traits your generation often developed, and how to use them in modern life. You don't need to relive the past. You just need to use what you already have. Quick question. Before we start, what year were you born? Drop it in the comments. No judgment, just context. And if this feels a little too accurate, hit like. It helps this reach the right people. Trait number 1. Self-directed problem solving. Back then, broken meant broken. No 10-second tutorial. No stranger online with the answer. You looked, you tried, you took it apart, and put it back together. You fixed things with tape, paper clips, and pure willpower. And you felt proud when it worked again. You learned with your hands, you learned through mistakes, you learned patience. That trained something rare, tolerance for not knowing. You didn't panic right away. You didn't quit right away. You stayed with the problem longer than most people do now. Today, a lot of people are allergic to hard. They want the answer instantly, and if they don't get it, they exit. But you have a baseline memory that says, "It's fine, I can try one more thing." Signs you have this. You like figuring things out. You hate feeling dependent. You naturally troubleshoot. Small step to use it today. Next time you're stuck, don't Google immediately. Give yourself 10 minutes first. Write down 3 approaches. Pick one. Try it. Just 10 minutes. You're reminding your brain, I can still do this. Stay with me. These skills don't disappear. They go dormant, and you can wake them back up. Trait number 2. Real-world social calibration. You learned communication through eye contact, through tone, through silence, through how close someone stood to you. You didn't have an undo button. If you misspoke, you misspoke. You had to repair it in real time. You had to say, "That's not what I meant." You had to shift the vibe and save the moment. You called someone's house, and you had to talk to their parents first. That trained politeness, speed, and natural confidence. This skill is called social repair, and a lot of people today are weak at it because they live in text, in emojis, in read but not replied. But your nervous system learned real, so you can read people faster than most. Signs you have this? You prefer face-to-face. You notice how easily texts get misunderstood. You like clarity. Small step. Send 1 voice note today, or make a 2-minute call. Just 2 minutes. You're practicing human signal again. Trait number 3. Adaptive risk calibration. Back then, you weren't tracked every second. You went out, you played, you got lost, and found your way back. You came home when the streetlights turned on. And your map was memory, not GPS. You climbed things, you scraped your knee, you cleaned it up, and kept going. You learned real lessons, not warning labels. That built an inner map. What's truly dangerous? What's just difficult? What needs caution? What only needs calm? So when things happen, you often hold steady, not because you feel no fear, but because your brain remembers. I've gotten through worse, with less. Signs you have this? Bad news doesn't instantly break you. You move into problem-solving mode. You say things like, "We'll handle it." Small step. Choose one small risk this week. Send the resume. Post the video. Speak up in the meeting. Start the project. Not perfect, just started. And here's the key. People might mistake this for being cold, but it's not cold. It's trained. Trait number 4. Comfortable solitude. Back then, you didn't have a screen all the time. No endless stream of content. You had space. You had boredom. You stared out a window and invented games. You drew. You built Lego. You read a whole book. And boredom did something powerful. It forced imagination. It forced thinking. It forced creativity. It taught you how to be with yourself. A lot of people today fear silence, because in silence, they hear their own thoughts. They feel empty, they feel restless, so they fill it with noise. But for you, silence can feel safe. You can be still without breaking. Signs you have this. You work best in quiet. Constant interruptions drain you. You can be alone without spiraling. Small step. Take a 15-minute walk with no phone, not a detox, a reminder. Your mind still works without noise. If this is landing for you, hit like, and if you want the next part, subscribe. Trait number 5. Resourcefulness under constraints. You did more with less money, less stuff, fewer options. You repaired things. You reused things. You waited for the right moment. You saved cords and boxes, just in case. And honestly, sometimes you really did need them. You didn't wait until conditions were perfect. You worked with what you had. You understood. Good enough can still move you forward. That mindset is powerful today, especially for building content, building business, or building a new project, because winners aren't always the ones with the most. They're the ones who use what they have. Best. Signs you have this? Waste bothers you. You always have a plan B. You value durability over speed. Small step. Write one question on paper. What can I do today with what I already have? Then choose one small action. Do it for 20 minutes. No debating. Just doing. Trait number 6. High endurance, but you need precision. You were taught to keep going, to push through, to be strong, and sometimes that truly saved you. But there's a downside too. You got used to suppressing, to saying, "It's fine," to ignoring feelings, to carrying things alone. And when you carry too much for too long, the body speaks for you. Fatigue, tension, insomnia, irritability, no motivation. So I'm not telling you to be softer, and I'm not telling you to be tougher. I'm telling you to be more precise. Emotions aren't enemies, they're data. If you read the data correctly, you suffer less. Small step. When you feel stressed, say one simple sentence. I'm overwhelmed because. Fill in the blank. Then choose one tiny action. Drink water, walk for 3 minutes, or shut the screen for 10. You're teaching your nervous system. I'm safe. If you're the type who always holds it together, the last trait will hit, because it's about memory and old rules. Trait number 7. Memory anchors and meaning-making. You remember streetlights turning on at dusk. You remember be home before dark. You remember waiting for the weekend. You remember a song as an entire memory. You heard a dial tone, and you knew it was a real connection. You wrote in a journal, not a story, These aren't just memories, they're anchors. They tell you, I've lived through change before, and I'm still me. That's meaning-making. When life changes fast, people without anchors drift. They feel ungrounded. They feel behind. They feel like they don't belong. But you have something powerful. You can hold on to core values. There's just one catch. Some childhood rules still run in the background. And sometimes they create tension. Rules like, handle it yourself. Don't bother anyone. Don't be weak. Don't fail. Those rules helped you survive. But today, they might be exhausting you. Small step. Write down one childhood rule you heard the most. Then ask, where is it still controlling me? Awareness is the beginning of change. Quick reset. Unclench your jaw. Drop your shoulders. Put a hand on your stomach. Breathe in for 4. Hold for 2. Out for 6. One more time. Say quietly in your mind, I'm okay. You're not falling behind, you're recalibrating. Now I'm curious, what phrase did you hear most growing up? Because I said so. Go outside. Do it yourself. Stop complaining. Keep going. Or, be home before dark. Drop your childhood mantra in the comments. I read them, and there's one truth I keep seeing. Most people think they're alone. But they're not. If you grew up in the 70s or 80s, you didn't just live through a different time. You trained a rare set of mental skills. And here's the important part. Those skills are power, but if you use them the wrong way, they turn into anxiety, stress, that feeling of, I don't fit anymore. In the next video, I'll show exactly how that happens, and the simple way to flip it back into confidence. Subscribe if you want that, and click the video on screen. I'll see you there.